up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Life is Cooler with AC. I'm your host, Alex Cunningham. Today, you might notice that we're a little off kilter, which what I mean is I'm sitting on my own fucking leg to try and be as big as my friend here, Janey V. What's up, buddy?
What up, everybody?
So, before we get into things, I just want to do another shout out. Thank you, Dylan Pop, for the bottle of bourbon. How do you say that word?
Legend?
Legend? Okay.
Legend?
Is it legend?
Legend? I have no idea.
I don't know. But however you say that, I'm so bad at reading. This is why I hated reading out loud in school. But it's a 47%, Kentucky straight barrel bourbon whiskey with wine and sherry cast. So it's gonna. Have you tried it?
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Is it good? Let's try it. I've had it. Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
It's fucking good. That's actually a lot better whenever you're not drunk.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Yeah, he brought it over for New Year's, and we did fucking Mario Kart, drunken Mario Kart.
Oh, dude, yeah, drunken Mario Kart is the best.
It was so much fun, yeah. But he was slamming these, and I was like, I'm gonna stick to my course.
Yeah, dude,
like,
yeah.
I was like, there's no way.
No, absolutely not. It's good though because that's a safe venue to practice drunk driving.
Oh, absolutely. Well, but you weren't allowed to drive and drink at the same time.
Oh,
right?
dude, yeah.
You had to drink or drive, but you couldn't finish the race until you had finished your drink.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So he slammed his fucking beer, and then just went the race. And I tried to stop, drink.
Yeah.
Nah, he beat us bad.
I just want to let everybody out there know, and right now it's 9 a.m. We're recording at 9 in the morning. Alex was like, come over super early. Let's get it out of the way.
Well, we had to do it early because it's actually Janey's birthday.
That's
Happy
right.
birthday.
Thank you. Yeah.
Wow. See, and that's crazy. And for Janey's birthday, I think the best thing to do would be go ahead and support the podcast. You know what I mean? If you want to shout out, I took your birthday.
Yeah, no,
so.
yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely.
If you want to shout out, you can send a donation to Life is Cooler with AC at all of that on Venmo or AC2 Productions on the other one. What's the other one?
Cash App.
Cash App, that's it. Yeah, and then I'm going to give, if it comes from this episode, I'm going to give $1 of each donation to you.
Everybody's just going to donate $1 just to fuck with me. It's just going to be like, sorry, dude.
Well, no, it'll be yours, though. I'll be like, I got
okay, so I would get the first $1 and
right,
then everything after that. Okay,
exactly,
everybody donate $1. Everybody donate $1.
Everyone. It's gonna be like $50,000. And I'm gonna be so upset.
I'm gonna post this on Reddit. I'm gonna post it on Facebook. It's gonna be all over the place. It's gonna be the highest grossing episode that you've had so far.
All time. And every person that views is gonna donate.
It's gonna donate $1.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so upset now.
I'll tell you what. For every $1 I get, I'll give you 25 cents.
That's a fucking deal.
Okay,
See,
yeah.
That is how you become business partners. Yeah. Somebody's getting fucked one way or the other, but at least we both get something.
So we both get something. Yeah, it works. It ends up working in the long run.
Exactly. Now, I do have to tell you, every time. So Janey is a very funny comedian, but every time you write your name down on a fucking set list and it's just Janey V.
Yeah.
Why does my mind go to Janey Vaney?
I don't know, but you know what? That's great. I'm starting an OnlyFans, so I think that's what I'm going to go with.
Okay.
Or maybe Veiny Janey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Which it's not. It looks like you ever see a sick baby bird?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. That's more what it looks.
Just before they get the feathers, it's they still just have the tiny little hairs.
They have the tiny hairs and they're weirdishly purple.
And constantly just going, nah, nah.
Yeah, dude, I talked to a doctor about it and they're like, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. You got to go to a specialist.
That thing's fucked up.
Yeah. You know things are bad when you show your doctor your dick and they go, oh.
You're like, actually, doc, that wasn't why.
Yeah, that wasn't.
It's my testicle. Oh, yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah. They're
up.
like, no, those nuts look normal. Those are good.
They're kind of veiny.
It's one thick vein that goes along like that and then across the seam.
Okay.
So it's like a big X on my... I'm joking. No,
I was like, that is concerning. But see, like, that'd be funny because, like, I know you're in a relationship right now, but, like, X marks the spot. You could, like, always just send, like, random dick pics and be like, you found the treasure.
Yeah. But then also it'd be easy to, like, recognize me.
Right.
Just be like, yeah, dude.
If you ever get into porn or you do start your OnlyFans, it's like, I've seen this dick before.
Yeah, everybody. I got this on an Instagram DM once.
This is that pirate dick.
That pirate dick.
No wonder it's made of wood.
Yeah. I'm gonna do that. Oh, so there is a thing I actually do. So I send my partner dick pics every once in a while.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah. But I do it through Snapchat, which allows you to like add stickers and like draw on it and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'll take a picture and I'll spend like a half an hour turning it into a work of art. I sent most recent. I made it look like Michelangelo from the Ninja Turtles. Like,
that's awesome.
Yeah, like I gave it the mask and it's spinning nunchucks and like it's like jumping in the air like this.
It's jumping.
Yeah, it looks like it's jumping because I gave it legs and everything. So
That's
it's like jumping, spinning nunchucks.
So if you get a picture of a dick that looks like a ninja
like a Ninja Turtle, if you get my Ninja Turtle dick.
So my wife's little brother, he
sends you dick pics.
Not me.
Okay.
He sent his mom a picture of his hand. And he said, I think I fucked up my thumb. And it was his dick laying over his thumb. and she kept looking at it, and she's like, it looks swollen. And then she realized what it was. And then sent it to his aunt, his grandma, and showed his sister, which is my wife, and was like, look what your brother sent me.
Oh, my God.
So everyone got to see his swollen thumb dick. See, like, I guess if you're going to do it with your family.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, I guess. Yeah, that's what porn has been teaching me recently is to keep it in the family for some reason.
They stopped doing the step anymore. Now
Yeah,
it's just,
dude, yeah.
Hey, real brother.
Yeah, they did, and it's weird. It's really weird because, like, so I think, like, porn really kind of pushes what is acceptable in society. It's, like, one of the first, like, rungs that's like, yeah, this is like normal now,
right? Yeah,
and it's
absolutely.
weird that incest is the thing that it's trying to normalize. Like,
I never thought of that.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, if you think about it, like, look at like so like before the step stuff, it was like a lot of like the alternative women, right? You started like in the mid like 2010s, late 20-teens, you had all of like these big titty goth girls, and now that's like what everybody is looking for,
right? Yeah.
So now, like, now it's like we're fucking straight up family members.
Right, yeah.
Like,
now it's a little closer to home.
Yeah, and like it's uncomfortable.
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's really uncomfortable.
Well, that's what's funny is like, I mean, when you're talking about porn and you know like the categories and stuff, like remember when it was like you would be scrolling and it was like ebony porn, and it's like, oh, okay, this is a little taboo. You know, you don't bang black chicks, you know, but like. Now it's just like you can bang black chicks, like you know.
Yeah, it's that, and then also like on the inverse, there's this great who is it? FD the Signifier has a really good YouTube video about like the fetishization of black people in porn. And it's a really interesting deep dive of how like it did used to be taboo, and now it's like less of a taboo and more of just a fetish.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like it's really interesting that like. It's like it's still equally as dehumanizing, but like in a completely different.
Yeah.
Like now it's no longer a secret. Now it's like the only thing I want.
Right. Yeah. Where used to it's like you would be like, I want to do it just to know that I broke the rules.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's like,
yeah.
Now I'm just trying to have sex with every black chick.
Yeah.
In an unhealthy way.
Yeah. Yeah. Now it's like everything's just like so and so size queen. And it's like, whoa, dude.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, that's weird.
Yeah. It's like I just type in, you know, like. I'm trying to look up Back to the Future. And she's like, BBW, big black women. I'm like, wait a minute now. Like, this is totally backwards.
So, speaking of BBW, I recently got a new tattoo. I don't know if you've seen it, the little wizard that's on my... I don't know if they'll be able to see it on here.
Well, we'll zoom in.
But, I got this little guy.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and my partner was just like, we should call him Butterbean the Wizard. And I was like, oh, that's super cute. And then she turns to my tattoo artist and goes, can you throw a little BBW under him for me?
I see you did not go with
No.
I wish you would have.
I'm thinking about going back and getting it in like old English font. Like,
oh yeah, that'd be
like real classy.
Yeah, and then when they're like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Yeah, let me tell you.
Do you have any fetishes like that you're like, I don't want to talk about, but we're on the podcast, so you have to?
No, because like I'm an open person.
Right.
So,
okay.
Like, I mean, I definitely like when it comes to like the women I'm interested in, definitely like alternative women. I do have something I could talk about with porn though. So I'm bisexual, right? Like I'm attracted to both, or I guess I'm pan. I'm attracted to whatever.
Okay. Dogs, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, dogs, family members, the whole.
It's got a hole. I'm gonna fuck it.
Yeah. So I'm attracted to like almost any gender.
Right.
Can't watch gay porn.
Really?
Can't watch two dudes. Can't watch two women.
Okay.
Doesn't do anything for me.
Really?
It's boring.
Like that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So like, it's not the penetration that you're into then if you can't watch two gay dudes.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. I think it's like the duality that I'm attracted to. Because
Gotcha.
like I can watch like two dudes, one woman, two women, one dude, one woman, 30 dudes. Like
okay, okay, that
like,
got fucking extreme.
Yeah, you know, I can get down with any of that. But when it's just like two people of the same gender, it's like
okay. So you say you're bisexual. Have you had sex with just a man?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I'm timid about it. It's interesting that like, so because I was raised Christian and I was raised like my father.
That was the name.
Yeah.
Your birth name was Christian.
It was Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah. My birth name was Jesus Cristo. So I was raised in the church, and like my father was a pastor for a while.
Okay.
And like, I didn't come out about being bisexual until like 3 years ago.
Oh, so this is still new to you.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. It's still super new. So it's like my partner has given me the option to go out and explore that, which like I'm curious about doing it.
Right.
But also like, I don't know. It's like it's scary just because like I've talked to dudes and heard like the way that they fuck, like even gay dudes, and I'm like, oh, that's like way too intense for me.
Yeah.
Like right off the bat, I need somebody that like I can ease into it with.
Okay.
Yeah.
So would you be in a threesome with her while she's fucking a dude and you're fucking him?
Yeah. Have
you done that?
No, not yet. I would like to. Yeah, it's one of those things. I haven't really like.
You haven't delved in.
I haven't delved in yet, but now that I'm 30 and like, you know, like,
shit's about to get wild.
Shit's about to get
you
fucking
should have died 3
wild.
years ago.
I should have, dude. I should have been dead by now, and I'm not. So it's like, all right, I guess I'm just gonna like literally fuck around.
Right, exactly. I'm gonna live in that black hole.
Yeah, dude.
Or brown.
Yeah, or brown, or if it's bleached, I'm gonna live in that bleached hole, dude.
Those are the pretty ones.
Yeah.
That's earlier. My wife was like, "I think I have a hemorrhoid," and I was like, "Probably so." And she was like, she yelled at me from the bathroom or from our bathroom, and I was in another bathroom, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm taking a shit," which my asshole is also bleeding.
Yeah.
You know, so like, just knowing that like she could potentially have a hemorrhoid, knowing what my asshole, which I've got Crohn's disease, so it gets a little bit more aggressive, but. I just don't think that I could like, especially with a man, like be like, that's the asshole. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm into anal.
Yeah.
You know, but like not man ass, just because
I think it's one of those things that like, I don't know how to describe it. You probably feel the same way about man ass that like a gay dude feels about vagina.
Oh, probably. Because like I picture that like, and this is gonna sound horrible, and I don't mean it that way, but I feel like a man's asshole looks like how hairy you are. Right.
Oh yeah.
So like your beard, your long curly hair, it's like where you have no hair on your forehead, like that's the actual sphincter.
Yeah. So I have like the inverse of a baboon ass, where like it's not smooth. It's like the rest of my body, very little hair.
Oh, okay.
And then my ass is like a shag carpet.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, dude. Like I've thought about getting like my butt waxed, right? Like I'm thinking about getting the crack wax, but like. Do you know how hard it's going to be to like recalibrate 28 years of wiping?
Oh, I know.
That'd be like, yeah.
So you don't trim around the hole or anything?
No, dude. I'm afraid I'm going to nick myself.
See, my problem, because like I'll sit there and like I get bored when I'm shitting because like I'm on the toilet for so long. So like I'll start like pulling hairs and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And like on my taint region, I've literally pulled hairs out that are as long as my head hair. And I'm like, when do they stop? Like, do they stop growing?
I don't think they do. I do trim my taint because I've got one of those one of those lawnmowers.
Oh,
but
I
like,
do too. I don't trim it though.
Yeah. Well, I did it to see what it was like.
I don't go around the balls.
No.
No.
Why do you not go?
I do.
That's what it's designed for.
Well, but I do the pubiscus, and then I do the shaft.
Yeah.
Do you have a hairy shaft?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know.
I'm Greek and Mexican. Like, of course.
So yeah. Okay.
Yeah, dude. It looks like a tree trunk covered in moss. How it goes up like halfway, dude.
But it's like it's weird because it only grows on the south side.
Yeah. But I always know where north is though because it does.
Because of
like, yeah. Like, if I'm ever lost in the woods, I just have to whip my dick out and I'm like, this way. Let's go.
This is the direction.
Yeah.
Just follow the X.
Yeah, follow. Yeah,
That, guys, is a callback. But no, like, I don't know, because, like, I've even had surgery, like, right around my asshole, you know, and, like, still didn't even shave it. So, like, I don't know. Like, my friend in high school, shout out to Kyle Brockel, he's the guy who made my logo, he shaved his asshole. And I was like, no fucking way. Like, when I shave my pubes and, like, the scratchiness.
yeah.
Like, could you imagine, like, having those pricklies, like, in between your butt cheeks?
I don't want to.
Yeah, no.
I don't want to. Yeah, because, like, when you shave anywhere in that area, after a couple of weeks, it does start to get
It's horrible.
itchy. Oh, and imagine the ingrown hairs.
Oh, like, I've got them on my fucking neck,
Yeah,
you know?
dude.
Like, and it's probably the same skin.
Yeah.
You know, it's soft and supple, you know?
Yeah,
and
super
stretchy.
sensitive. So, like, and when you go for it, dude, it's like, you know how you get the ones over here and you pinch them and they fucking hurt? Yeah, dude.
And they just swell up.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah.
dude,
Like,
imagine. Could you imagine just having having somebody to go in and get that for you because you couldn't?
But you would have to do it yourself, right?
I have a partner who loves me, and I'm sure if I was like, "Hey, babe,
See,
I need you to do something for me," and we have like a blackhead extractor kit.
oh well, see, my wife got me that too, and and so I get like sporadic hairs on my back, like I've got a really bad scar on my back, and I get like hairs around it, and so I'm always, but my wife doesn't want to pluck the little hairs, you know, and she's like, nah, it's fine, leave it. So I don't think that I could convince her to like go and pluck a hair out of my asshole. Like, I would do my damnedest, but I don't think she would do it.
Yeah, I think maybe you guys should go talk to a therapist as a couple and just see what is going on.
Like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, what is going on? Because if my partner had an ingrown hair in her ass and she needed me to get it, I'd at least try.
Right. I mean, I'd scrub up at least, you know, like I'm not a doctor, but I'll play one.
Yeah.
Like, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'm not one of those people who likes popping blackheads, so I don't know, like, if I could do it.
Yeah.
But, like, if she asked me to.
Right. Well, see, like, I think the asshole, though, honestly, would be one of the best places to do it, because you know how, like, sometimes when you're popping a blackhead and, like, the skin wants to, like, wrinkle in?
Yeah.
So you could, like, put your finger in there, push it from the backside, and then pop it. So then that way it would never wrinkle back in. And, like, I honestly, now I fucking think that I'm going to start researching, you know, the best
the best way
of asshole pimple popping.
Yeah, honestly, it may be probably the best way to do it is, like, the same way, like, you deal with, like, a dog's anal gland.
Yeah.
Where you just one hand and pinch, you can probably get it out that way. It's just like one finger in and then pinch. And that's all you need to do, and it'll come right out.
I think we've just solved the asshole pimple problem.
If somebody listening, please go to WikiHow and like draw the art and and submit
but credit us.
Yeah,
like,
credit us.
Yeah, we need that $1 donation.
Yeah, we do.
Every view.
Yeah, it's the only way Alex is going to get his 25 cents is if we get everybody to donate that $1 to the WikiHow.
I need to buy more bourbon. Okay.
Yeah.
So you just had me on your podcast a couple weeks ago. Maybe it was a week ago. Time fucking flies around the holidays. So I want you guys to go check out the podcast, What Happens When I Die, because we had an incredible fucking conversation on there.
It easily one of the best. I was talking to my dad about it because my dad listens to the show.
Okay.
And I was telling him about our episode. He was like, oh, like, what did Alex say? And I was like, you're going to have to come listen to it, Dad. Like, you got to go listen to it. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But, like, you do. I'm very excited. I think it was a very good episode.
Yeah, no, and I'm excited too. And it's funny because we kind of had the same situation, the same ideas going on each other's podcast.
Yeah.
You know? Like, so whenever I got to Janey's house, the conversation was, I don't know how this conversation's going to go because we're just such different people. Mm-hmm. So if you haven't figured it out now, Janey is non-binary. And see, he's there, they. Did you get that comment that I put on your fucking status the other day?
Which one?
Where you're like, I'm going to dive more into my femininity. Yeah. And I said, be there, they.
Oh, yeah.
And like, no one liked it.
Yeah, a lot of, I think so. It's one of those things. I think a lot of cishet people like clench up for queers, which is really weird. Like, and I want to set the record straight. Like, don't like, you can, if somebody's being aggressive, stand up for your queer friends,
right? For sure.
But like, don't get offended for your queer friends if they aren't there. Like, if somebody uses the wrong pronouns, maybe be like, hey, they prefer they, them, or she, her, whatever. But like cishet white people, I appreciate what you're trying to do, but sometimes like
it's a bit aggressive.
It's a bit aggressive. You've got to tone it down, and it's like it's always uncomfortable to be the person who's just like, hey, like, I appreciate it. I get what you're doing,
right? But let's go. You're at a 10.
Yeah,
I need you at a 2.
Dude, like, I'll even take an 8. Like, even like,
yeah,
just a little bit. Take a breath,
right,
and then come back to the person that you're talking to.
Yeah,
like, it's not our job to change people's hearts,
right?
But like, being aggressive isn't going to
and so we talked about it a couple times, and I was actually when you pulled up, I don't know if you saw me standing in the window like a goddamn creep.
No.
So I was like, all right, well, that makes sense. So I'm anytime somebody's coming over or anything, I'm just standing in the window. Like, I'm fucking anxious. So I was on the phone with Chris Dixon, and he said something about, like, your podcast or something, and he said, like, he enunciated it weird, I don't know, but he said his podcast. Yeah. And then he was like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean, whatever. And so he recanted, and he was like, one thing that I love about Janey is that, like, every time that we have this conversation, it's always like, I know that you're not trying to offend, and I know that you're being respectful, and, like, whatever, and so that is such a cool thing, because, like, I know so many people that, like you said, they're just like, oh, fucking this and that.
Like, it's one of those things, and, like, I don't want to speak for every queer person when it comes to it. Like, there are times, like, where I've hit my limit and I've snapped at somebody. Like, I snapped at my mom when she was down, and she dead named me, and I was like, I don't know who that is.
What is dead name?
When you use your old name before you.
I thought you were saying, like, you're dead to me. Okay.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Okay. So my previous name also began with a J.
Gotcha.
Right. Okay. So she would refer to me by that name, and like, she's my mom. She's known me since, like, I was just a bundle of cells.
Right.
As that name.
Yeah.
And so I did get kind of, like, aggressive with her. Which, Mom, if you're listening, just don't do it. No, I'm kidding. Like, I'm sorry.
Listen, girl.
Yeah. No, I apologized.
Yeah, for sure.
But like, there are people. It is easy to, like, get fed up. Mm-hmm. I'm under. Yeah, because I was raised Christian. I'm under. Like, I have that deep seated, like, turn the other cheek mentality.
For sure.
So it's kind of hard to be aggressive with people, even when they're, like, genuinely causing distress.
Yeah, and, like, I think that comes down to who you are as a person, though, too, and I'm not saying just you, I mean in general. Like, some people are the agitators. Yeah. Some people are, the aggressors. Some people are the passive-aggressive, so it really just comes down to
like,
you.
Like, we have friends that, like, they can dish it out, but when you serve it back to them, get kind of aggressive.
Right, for sure.
So, like, it is definitely on the person. I think I'm lucky enough to have been raised by parents that taught me patience, even when people are consistently fucking up around me.
Right, absolutely.
With things.
Yeah.
But it is also, like, it's on, I personally believe that it is, like, it's not my job as a queer person to train you to be a better human being.
For sure. And that's, I think, like, I don't want to just redo our episode on your show or anything, but I think that is something, especially, like, with my audience, because my audience is
idiots.
Yeah, you fucking retards. They're going to be a little bit more on the conservative side, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that it's good to have this open conversation a little bit, because it kind of it lets you know, because, like, I've never been like, like not gash, like, just stab them and cut them open, but bash gay people or anything like that. I've always been, like, very accepting, but that doesn't mean, like you said, it's not your job to change other people.
Yeah.
And just, like, I think it's my job to also stand kind of firm and, like, where I'm from as well, you know. So we having those counterbalance is very neat, and seeing that we can coexist, and we can have our own ideas, but, like, know that, like, you're a good person.
Yeah, like know? I don't want to get too political on the show, because I know it's not a political show, but, like, I'm, like, a bona fide, like, anarcho-communist. Okay. Like, I'm full leftist, but like, also, I own a gun, and, like, unlike a lot of other anarchists, I think voting is important. Right. But like when I have conversations with like my conservative friends, it's never rarely unless like I'm cracking a joke. Is it like, fuck you, you're wrong.
Right, absolutely.
You know, most of the time it's like, I see what you're saying, but like, have you thought about like just tilting your head a little bit and viewing it from this angle?
For sure, yeah. And that's what's so neat, you know, where you're looking at perspectives and stuff like that. Like, so if you look at the screen here, and you're much bigger than I am, right? Like physically, you're much bigger than I am. But if I sat a little bit closer up, and if I came up a little bit, we could manipulate things.
To like
look at
Lord of the Rings,
ways.
like what they do in Lord of the Rings, how they did all the forced perspective.
I'm going to pretend like I know Lord of the Rings and say yes.
Oh, okay. Have you not seen the Lord of the Rings movie?
I think I've started watching one with a friend, you know, like a long time ago. He loved Lord of the Rings, and I don't know. Like,
you know whose birthday else is today outside of mine? J.R.R. Tolkien, the writer of Lord of the Rings.
Hey, happy birthday, buddy.
Yeah, he I don't know how old he would have been. Hundreds of years old.
Oh, these aren't new books?
No. no. These came out like in the 40s.
Oh, see, I thought that it was like
50s.
Harry Potter, and like I thought that they were
no, Lord of the Rings is like 50s.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, this is an educational podcast. Yeah, no, like I'm so dumb. Like with most everything. I'm like, people will tell me things and I'm just like, oh, okay. And like, I'll never think about it ever again.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
I think there's, I think everybody's dumb depending on the group they're in.
I don't know, because I've listened to a lot of your episodes on What Happens When I Die, and I'm like, a lot of big words.
Yeah, it's, sometimes I feel like I'm intentionally verbose to sound more educated, like, to people who are dumber, so that I can convince them that like what I'm saying is right.
Right, yeah.
You know, it's like the Joe Rogan effect,
For
where
sure.
like if you say things with enough confidence and enough big words, people are going to be like, I like the cut of this guy's jib.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to be like, I don't know what it means, but you said something I don't understand, so you're probably right.
Yeah, it's like, did you hear there was at least 6 letters in that word? Like,
exactly.
That's a big word.
Yeah, no, Dixon did that to me earlier. He was talking about how like you don't put a comma before the state, after the city, if it's in a sentence or something like that. And I was like, I don't think that that's accurate at all. And he was like, well, based off of and he used some fucking big word that starts with a P. If the word starts with a P and it's not penis, I probably don't know what it is. Penis
it just
and
becomes,
pussy.
yeah, if you're and then no enos or ussy, it just like turns into static. And
Yep. I'm like, you're probably right.
Yeah, all right, that's a big word. That's at least 7 letters in that word. That's a big word.
You know, like, I don't have time to find it in the dictionary.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm just going to agree, which I did. And I was like, yeah, you're probably right. And he's like, I don't know if that's a real word. I don't. He's like, it sounded right, and I put it there, and I figured that if I said it and you didn't know what it meant, you would agree. And I was like, you fucking nailed it.
Yeah.
I was like, that's what happens when you're stupid. You're just like, yeah, it sounds good.
So I'm very stupid, but in a very like in a very practical sense. So if you show me, like, when it comes to machinery, terrible at machinery.
Okay.
Even if it's just like a very simple like a very simple like piece of machinery. If you're like, this is how it works, I just like
now when you say piece of machinery, I'm envisioning you have like a combustion engine or something like that.
Yeah, anything related to cars. The radio in my car went out.
Okay.
And I changed it myself.
Okay.
Which is very easy. Take off a couple of screws, unplug a piece, plug a new piece in.
Right. So you went back to like the same factory radio.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And like sweating bullets. Like it's just like you've got to unplug 2 plugs and then plug them into the new one. And I'm like, oh fuck, dude.
It's like you need a Phillips screwdriver, a fucking what?
Yeah, I didn't even know I needed one of the 5-prong screws. You know what I'm talking about? Like the star-shaped screws. Yeah. I needed one of those. Luckily, my father-in-law drives BMWs, so he's constantly working on his cars.
Right.
So he gave us a bunch of tools to
that's nice.
to do stuff. But I was staring at this bit box, just like, no.
That's the same shape.
No, yeah. It took me way too long to figure out how to do it.
Well, in your defense, you drive a Ford.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
That's how I knew when you pulled up. I was like, "There's that little piece of shit," because I'm focused.
I'm about to hit 100,000 miles on that baby, so I'm ready. I'm ready for something to shut up.
100,000. That's it.
Yeah,
buddy. I just hit I'm at 201,000 already on my car.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, It's a Chevrolet though.
Oh yeah.
So like,
I drive a stick shift.
Oh, okay.
So I'm hoping it's going to last
your
longer.
clutch is about to go out.
Probably.
Well, so when it does, you're going to wish you didn't have a stick shift.
Yeah?
Yeah, especially because it's a front-wheel drive car. It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Now, I'll watch you do it, and I'll tell you, like, that's probably the wrong tool.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you which one it is, but that one's probably wrong.
I was watching an episode of The Simpsons yesterday, and Homer was trying to fix Marge's camera, and he had, like, a power drill and a hammer. I was like smacking the power drill with it, and I feel like that's what I'm gonna be like.
That's how you have to,
yeah, dude. Like I go full like unga bunga caveman when it comes to dealing with stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like electronics, like I'm okay. I can work on computers, like okay enough to where I don't break them.
Okay, well that's
but
good.
Anything bigger than a computer, I'm like the monkeys at the beginning of 2001: A Space Odyssey, where I'm just like screaming and smacking bones against something because I just don't get it.
No, and like that's how I am with computers. Like we had some technical difficulties on a couple of episodes at the end of last year. And I like couldn't figure it out. I was like, "This is dumb." Like I have no idea. Like I can hear through my mic into my headphones, but like the computer doesn't detect it, you know?
Yeah.
And it was like something super simple, like input output, you know?
Yeah.
Like super simple, but I'm just that dumb, you know? But then it's like I'm rebuilding a 76 Firebird. And it's like, wait a minute. Like,
yeah.
It's like, I feel like the input output is a lot easier. And it's like, it might be to somebody who thinks that way.
Yeah. I think that's what it is. I don't think there's anybody who's like genuinely stupid. I think there are people who just like have their thing. So like my grandfather, right, can't spell for shit. Not even like a 4 or 5 letter word.
Wow.
He'll fuck it up.
Yeah.
But if you take him horse racing, he has like mathematical algorithms to always make sure he makes money.
Really? That's awesome.
Like he tried teaching me once. Like he's great. Like he can multiply like multiple digit numbers in his head.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Like
so he's like betting on horse racing.
Yeah, he's betting on horse racing, and like he showed me, he had like the program.
Yeah.
And he was just like, Janey, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna take like the horse, the type of turf that they've ran on in the previous races, which is right here. You're gonna times that by this. You're gonna divide this number, and then you're gonna do that with all of the horses, and then you're gonna bet highest to lowest via something trifecta.
Okay.
And he's just like, and you're guaranteed to get this amount of output if one of these horses win.
See, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Like, so, have you met Vic Vinegar? You've met Vic.
Yeah, I've met Vic.
So Vic.
Unfortunately, I've met Vic.
He probably still owes you money.
Yeah.
So Vic was on here. He was the episode, the first of the year, and
that's that smell.
That probably
in the couch,
right?
Because I sat down, and it was like a big waft.
That vinegar.
Yeah, dude, it was that and mothballs, and like it was like
it's because he never wears a different fucking suit. It's always the same suit.
It like you could smell the $35 a night motel.
And hooker.
Yeah. No, Vicky would be like, "What? Spending $70 in a night?" Like I was like, "I get it, dude." Like.
Is this not a combo deal or what?
Yeah,
but he was talking about betting and stuff and he was talking about horse racing. So it's interesting that you brought that up because he said all you got to do is like feel their balls, and then if you feel their testicles and like which one weighs the most is like they're gonna lose because they're heavier.
Yeah.
So the fact that like your grandpa has figured out like an actual strategy for
I'm
horse
pretty
racing,
sure if I had to guess, my grandfather started off at the measuring the balls.
I wonder if that's still a thing. He's like, well, the turf and the balls.
Yeah,
and
I'll ask him like, hey, do I need to calculate like testicular girth into this algorithm at all?
Just take a little scale and it's like these testicles are 4 ounces.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll be able to get back there with the horses though, because like I can't pretend to be a jockey. I'm too tall.
Well, yeah, but so again, Vic is the man, right? He said you just got to be a doctor, you know, like you just got to be the horse doctor, and you can go feel the balls. So if you just like throw,
I could see Vic maybe like wearing a different pair of sunglasses,
right.
Same outfit. He's like, I'm a horse doctor.
I'm a doctor now. Yeah. So tell your like next time you go to the fucking horse track with your grandpa, be like, nah, throw that shit out the window. Because like I was asking him about like gambling and stuff and like making bets, and he's like, blind betting is always the best.
Yeah.
Because horses are blind.
I saw him talk about how you never get personal with the team when it comes to betting. I saw that, which is good advice.
It is, yeah. But then he talks about how he's fucking loved the Yankees, and I'm like, go fuck yourself. Like, you don't even make sense to yourself.
So I used to follow baseball. I'm from San Diego originally.
Okay.
So our team is the Padres.
Yeah.
And once I became like old enough to realize what losing meant, I stopped following baseball.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm not following the Padres anymore. Right. Like there's only so much heartbreak you can take when it comes to your home team. Yeah. Before you're like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah. No. And I feel that a lot because like I'm a New England Patriots fan in football, right? And we had a good run. Yeah. You know. Tom Brady was, like a lot of people say Jesus Christ. I say Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Like Tom Brady, please.
Oh, I thought like maybe like right before you come, you're like, oh, Tom Brady.
Well, yeah, usually it's to him. It's because I'm jerking off to his picture. But I definitely, I can relate because like now we suck. You know, now that Tom left and we don't have that, funky juice that he, puts out and sells, like, I can understand the Padres and your your connection.
Yeah. Padres haven't been good since fucking Winfield was on the team, and that was 76.
Right. Only 50 years.
Yeah, it's only 50 years of a shitty hometown team.
Well, what was it, the Cubs? It was like 108. Like Their time's coming.
yeah. Any day now. Me and a buddy, we have so I want to do this fake mockumentary, if you will.
Okay.
We have an idea where we want to do a documentary where we follow the #1 fan of the Washington Generals, which is the team that plays off against the Harlem Globetrotters.
Okay.
So like Washington Generals never win, but I think it would be really funny to follow this guy who's like, it's our year. Like, we're going to get it.
So essentially just be like Dallas fans, but like when it comes to baseball or basketball.
Yeah. They're like, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's like, no, dude, like it's not. Like,
are they the only two teams?
So, yeah, they're like the only two. They always tour together because it's like a show,
right?
It's
it's right.
It's performance art. It's not a real sport,
uh-huh.
So like, it would be funny just to like imagine somebody out there who's just like a diehard. Like imagine somebody who is like so into like wrestling,
right?
Which we all know is performance, but to the point where they're like, they have like a collection to their favorite wrestler who's never won a match.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah.
No, I'm already invested.
yeah.
That would be so fucking funny. Just like he goes to every game, just always there, always buys the fucking expensive tickets.
Yeah.
And he doesn't care about the showmanship of the game.
No, yeah, he's not there. He's not there for the showmanship. He's not there for the fundamentals.
Right.
He's there because he genuinely believes that the Washington Generals are gonna get it.
And it's like is there even like a real like title?
No, there isn't.
Because at least like in wrestling, like you can still like you could be the champ.
Yeah, you could still get belts and stuff. Yeah, right. I don't think so, but it would like. I have this scene in my head of him going to like a sports betting area in Vegas, and he's like 15 grand Washington Generals, and like the person behind the counter is just like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, who?
yeah.
That would be fucking hysterical.
Yeah.
You have to let us know if you put that out so I can tell everybody.
Yeah, no, we're so me and my writing partner, we've been working on it for a couple of months now. So we're
okay, that's awesome. So
yeah, we're hoping to at least get like a short film out of it.
Yeah, so you do a lot on the creative side then.
Yeah, unfortunately.
No, I mean not unfortunately. You've written some of the best poems I've ever heard.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
So, there's this poem that you perform about your dog.
About my dogs, talking to the mailman.
Yes.
Because they're curious about what they're saying.
The first time I ever saw that performed was the first time I ever met you.
Yeah.
And we didn't meet, right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah. You came looking like you.
Yeah.
But you had fishnets on.
Yeah, I think I was wearing fishnets and my short shorts and like.
I think you had a skirt on that night.
Oh, I might have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I remember being like, what is happening right now?
Yeah.
And we're in Central Texas.
Yeah.
And like the leather jacket, and then you get on stage and do the poem. And I was like, I have never seen this ever in my life. And now that I have met you and we've had all these conversations and interactions, I'm like, I can't imagine a more perfect fucking bit. And the fact that it's like, Family Guy, like where Peter will fall and like his knee hurts.
Yeah,
right. And you're like, all right, we're 5 minutes in.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna cut, and as soon as you think it's gonna cut, it doesn't, and
it keeps going.
Right.
Yeah.
And when you're just over it, you're like, I'm gonna change the fucking channel. That's when it cuts.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
That is your joke.
Yes.
And I admire that much.
And I double down on it because I do it in English as well.
Right.
Which is just me screaming, plot spoil.
Yeah.
I legitimately bark.
Right.
For anywhere from 15 to 45 seconds.
Yes.
Depending on the audience, depending on how
long enough to look at whoever you're there with and be like, what is happening?
Yeah. That's so and then I do the hey. I shout hey, and I end it with what's in your bag.
Okay, yeah.
Because of mailmen. I wrote that poem because when I first started doing comedy, the area I lived in, no comedy open mics.
Okay.
A lot of music and poetry open mics.
Right.
So I was like, all right, I want to do comedy. I don't have anywhere to do comedy. I'm going to write funny poems.
That's awesome. That's smart.
Yeah. So that's where my haiku comes in.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was written around the same time. I have a poem called Terrible Decisions where all I do is just scream, I shouldn't have kicked that beehive, and then scream for 5 to 10 seconds. And when I would perform, my friends would come and see, and my parents would come and see, and they would get it. Right. So in a room of 50 to 100 people, 4 to 6 people would understand what I'm doing.
Everybody
and be
else is like, what is that?
Yeah. It was always great seeing that slam poetry person try to act like they got what I was doing.
Right.
They'd be like, that was really good. Right. I understood
That's
it.
Art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's I don't think you get it. I don't think the point of the joke is it's so fucking stupid.
Right. That's why it's funny.
Yeah. To literally do the most on the nose, this is a poem for my dog, bark for 30 seconds. Is so literal. And the fact that I am performing it for as long as I do is why it's so funny. Right.
And I think that the initial hit of it, you especially not knowing you, you're so caught off guard, but it's so memorable.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That now when you don't do it, I'm like, that's gay.
Yeah. No, it's definitely it's because most of my humor is very it's not traditional stand-up, I guess is the term I would use. It's a lot of I don't know. I've always been just a weird person,
right?
So it's my weird sense of humor, my poem, or not my poem, my joke where I talk about how I'm an adamant supporter of the Second Amendment, because every American has a God-given right to blow out their own brains,
right?
That's a dumb joke. It's a very dumb and weird,
but it's a
joke.
Good joke.
Thank you.
And it's a good joke because it's a misleading joke,
yes.
Right? So you take them here. And then you turn the corner.
Yeah.
So it makes it a good fucking joke.
Which is what I love. I love doing. I love going here's what you're expecting.
Right.
And now it's something either way too dark or way too fucking stupid for it to be truly acceptable. Not truly acceptable, but to be traditional stand up.
Yeah, and I can understand that, but also I think that with you, knowing you, that it's so perfect, right?
Yeah.
So because you also have another joke, and I don't want to give all your jokes away or anything like that, but
no, I'll just perform every single joke I've ever written
right here,
right now.
So
Buckle
donate
up.
the $1. So, yeah. So you do the joke about the suicide and jumping off the building, but again, it is a misleading joke. But the joke is not a misleading style. The joke is about the suicide being misleading.
Yeah.
Right? So it's so funny to me because you look at you and then so you're a very manly man.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, a very masculine.
Right. Exactly. But then you are non-binary and you have all of these different things about you that are misleading.
Yeah.
Right? If you just take how you look, it's very misleading. So the fact that you have misleading humor. You have jokes that literally are misleading.
Yeah.
Like it's neat to me because there's something about that, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not a therapist. I don't, like I don't fucking know what it means or anything. But like it's so neat that like that is just like, it's got to be your sense of humor. It's got to be your personality, something you love shocking people.
I do. So I used to, like our buddy Chris Dixon, I used to do magic. I used to do sleight of hand.
Yeah.
All of that, but
so
I fell
that's
in
where you said I'm definitely gay.
Yeah, that's where. Yeah, the moment I made a coin disappear, I was like, "Ooh, like
what else can I hide?
What else? Yeah, and let me tell you, so much.
The closet is huge.
Yeah, dude, like you would be surprised how much I've been able to cram in there. But like I fell in love with geek magic, which is more of like the shock and awe freak show kind of stuff.
Okay, is that like the sword swallowing?
Swallowing, hammering a nail into my nose.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen me do the routine where I stick a Tic Tac in my eye and I spit it out. Yeah, I do. I do a lot of weird. I love weird stuff because I love.
I'm pissed off that you haven't showed that.
Yeah, all right. I'll do it tomorrow because I'm hosting.
I used to have Tic Tacs up here, but I don't, or else I'd fucking make you do it.
I would do it on camera.
Yeah, but I don't know where my Tic Tacs went.
But I've always loved just like making people uncomfortable, but not in like I'm not in a way to where they feel unsafe.
Absolutely. Yeah.
In a way where like. Where just like something fucking weird happens to you. Like, okay, so a few months ago, maybe about a year ago, I was in the bathroom at work, right?
Okay.
And I'm taking a shit, and I hear this shuffling of boots. And like the dirtiest pair of boots I've ever seen stop in front of the stall and start wiggling the door, right? And I'm like, somebody's in here. And that person goes, ugh, and just keeps like wiggling it. I was like,
as if you're gonna just pinch it off and be done.
Yeah, and I'm like, there's someone in here, and then they stop and they do a full 90-degree turn and just go, it's locked, and then shuffles back out.
Okay,
that was the whole interaction with this person, and like I didn't feel unsafe. I was just like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah,
that this person like, I said very loud
right.
that like. This had just happened. I had been watching, I don't know if you've ever seen David Lynch, but he's like a really avant-garde kind of weird director who lives like swimming in the strangeness of life. Okay. So it felt like a David Lynch scene where I was just like, what the fuck is going on? This isn't like a normal human interaction.
Right. Yeah. I verbally said someone's in here. Yeah. And like we've all been to stalls and we've all been like, they just open, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to jimmy them.
Yeah,
you know, like they're either latched or they're not latched. Yeah. There's no.
You do one quick. Okay, got it.
Oh, like, so my bad.
Yeah.
You know, like I didn't realize. Whatever.
Yeah.
You know, but to literally, there's someone in here.
Yeah. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like they weren't me telling them someone's in here.
Right.
They were the fact they couldn't get the door open.
Right. Yeah.
It was like, what the fuck is going on? And like that feeling that I have there is what I love doing to people on stage.
Okay, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, you know, because like when I do my dog poem, you can see the audience member look at each other and be like, "Where the fuck are we?"
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
That, like, especially because I would say a lot of our friends do very traditional stand up, be it like one-liner, storytelling kind of stuff. But like me, and I would say Seth Bryan is another one of those comedians that when they go on stage, you're just like, what the fuck is this?
Absolutely.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, and I love that. I love just that weird interaction.
Well, and that's what's so cool, though, you know, about comedy and being able to do so many different styles. And before I knew you, I don't remember who I was talking to. It could have been Dixon. It could have been, you know, a number of people. But I was like, that is someone who enjoys the art.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, has zero interest in the fame.
Yeah.
It's all about the art.
Yeah. I want to tell you, so I was talking to Justin about this bit, and like I've told other people, I don't think I'm ever going to perform it, which is why I'm comfortable sharing it here.
Yeah.
I have a prop comedy routine that I want to do that I know for a fact if I perform it anywhere, I would never be allowed to come back.
Okay.
So what I do is I'm doing like traditional Carrot Top style prop comedy.
Yeah.
But at one point, I bring out just like a mangled and disheveled-looking teddy bear.
Okay.
And I just stare at it for about 15 seconds. Like an uncomfortable, kind of like like when you see your high school bully as an adult and you're just kind of like, oh fuck, like what is this?
Right.
And so I put it down and I keep trying to go back to my set, but somebody with a second mic is voicing the teddy bear, and it's trying to convince me to kill a member of the audience.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be neat.
Yeah, so like, and I wanted to, like, I know how to do the animatronics to where I could get like the teddy bear's head to turn and look at me.
Yeah.
So it could be like, Janey. And like, it's just like, you've got to kill. I need to feed. And
you could like look at something, like you could like turn its head to look at someone.
Yeah, and point somebody out in the audience who's in on it as well.
No, if they weren't in on it, and you could see the discomfort on their face.
Yeah, so it's going to do that, but the person they end up selecting is in on it because I grab them and pull them on stage.
Okay, gotcha.
And I pull out like one of the prop knives that like D1 has that the blade goes in. And I just start stabbing this person on stage, screaming, "Is this what you want? Is this what you wanted? Is this it?" And I'm just stabbing and screaming and crying. And then the bit ends, and we both get up and we leave. Like, that's
like, no, thank you. Just get up and walk.
Yeah.
That would be. When you do it, I want to be there. I don't know what.
I don't know where I would perform it, and I don't know, like, because we were talking about like doing it at Corky's,
right?
And,
which Corky's is supportive.
Yeah, but Justin was just like, "That's how you get a 1-month ban." And I was like, "Yeah,
you know, but." It's for the art.
It is, yeah. It is. It's definitely for the art. A lot of my my siblings into comedy as well, and they do. If you think my bits are strange, their bits are like above and beyond.
Okay,
what I do. Like, I'm trying to, like, they'll stop a bit halfway through, like during one of their sets. If somebody says something too loud, they'll just stop and stare at that person for 45 seconds. They'll take a full minute of their set just to make one person uncomfortable for interrupting their set.
And everyone else is like, "Is this part of the
yeah, like, everybody else is just like, I don't know what's going on. What is this?" And they just... So anyway, like...
Yeah, those are the greatest moments too, because I just did that last Wednesday, or I think it was last Wednesday, and I was like, it was the bar closes. We were at Corky's. The bar closes at like 10.
Yeah,
and it was like 8:40, and I got up and I was like, the bar staff just wanted me to let you know that it is last call.
Oh yeah.
And I just sat there. And my wife was like, "Why did you do that?" And I was like, "Because it was so funny." She was like, "It wasn't."
No, it was.
She was like, "Nobody laughed," and I was like, "But I thought it was fucking hysterical."
Yeah.
Like, and I just kept doing it, and I was like,
"Yeah." I think that's a big thing that you can tell. You can tell when somebody's green at comedy when they're performing for the audience, and somebody who's performing for themselves has been doing it for a while.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know,
and I think that's a huge difference too, and that's a great point that I don't think we've discussed on this podcast. That when you're doing comedy, people think that it's for the crowd, right? And in a way, it is, because you got to get the followers, and and that, you know, and whatever. But like, I tell people all the time, do it for you, because if you're constantly pandering to the crowd and trying to give the crowd what they want,
you end up being a Dane Cook,
right? And you don't get better, because you're like, this is what they want, so I'm gonna constantly do, you know, be it like, and I'm just stereotyping now, but gay jokes, right? And or short jokes, or you know, like that's what they want, so I'm gonna give
doing very surface level, very kind of like haha, like I think one of my weakest jokes. But it always gets a big laugh. It's one joke that I perform if I need like that quick boost to get everybody back on my side.
Absolutely.
I'm just like, what was it? Somebody called me California Hagrid the other day, and I still haven't recovered.
Okay,
like, you know, like, it's not the funniest joke. For me, it's not the funniest joke I've ever written.
For sure.
But it's a very, like, look at this person.
We can identify what they're saying,
yeah,
and we get it, and, you know, for sure. And that's what's so hard, like, because I used to do this, and it was an accident, too. My first set at Corky's, my first set in Texas, I went up there and I said, you know, like, I had just moved here. I'd been here for like a week, and I was like, just moved to Texas. Not a big fan of Texas. Everybody said, you know, that things were bigger in Texas. I haven't grown a fucking inch since I've been here.
Yeah.
And it killed. And it kills every time I say it, but I've really tried to like reel it back, because like those are the cheap laughs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, those are the very easy. It's like there's nothing wrong with what is it called? Self-deprecating humor.
For sure, absolutely.
You know, but I think there's what was it? Like one of my favorite comedians, Nathan Lund, he's got self-deprecating humor. But he's also weird about it.
Okay.
Like, because he's got, like, kind of weird wispy hair.
Uh-huh.
And he's, like, just an unusual-looking dude. He goes, I know what you're thinking. This dude rolls down hills to get everywhere he needs to.
Okay.
Which is, like that's self-deprecating humor, but at the same time, that was, like, a very him joke. It was very weird.
Uh-huh. And actually, so last week, I talked to Panda Chacon. He's a comic out of Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Yeah.
And he was telling me about a joke that he does, and he's a very big man, you know. And he was like, about how when he got baptized and the preacher was like 65 and was like, I can't lift you up, you know, so like you got to help me a little bit. And I was like, that's funny because you're doing a religious joke, but you're not being being harmful to religion, and you're doing a self-deprecating joke, but you're not really hurting yourself either, which is a weird concept, you know.
Yeah, because like with self-deprecation humor, like there are people like there's the easy shots, the way everybody like immediately sees you,
absolutely,
or there's self-deprecating humor and like revealing a piece of yourself to the audience and then making fun of that.
Right, absolutely.
You know, like when we talk about like I would say that like the bit you did about your parents, right, and how like the way it affected you,
right,
is self-deprecating, but it's not like you're not hurting yourself.
No, yeah.
You're presenting like a vulnerability of yourself, which is self-deprecating, is to present this piece of you that like it's fucked. This fucked piece of you.
Yeah.
And being like, this piece of me is fucked. Here you go.
Yeah. And I think that like honestly, so like I'm a music guy, right? And I can relate to music. And if you have a song, let's pick somebody who is a phenomenal artist, okay?
Yeah.
Lady Gaga.
Okay.
She's a phenomenal artist. Yeah. And you can take any of her songs and any of her pop songs, you know, that are like on the radio, whatever, and it sounds just like any other pop song. You can put any other singer with it, and it's like, it's good, right? But then whenever you get into, my wife and I were actually just watching, for like the fucking fourth time in the last 2 months, A Star Is Born.
Yeah.
And where she's doing, you know, like, I'm on the deep end, like whatever. And it's like, it's not a pop song. It's like, it's a real emotional song.
Yeah.
And she is actually giving herself to it. And that is where I think people truly shine, because you can always make the radio hits, right? Which is, you know, the cheap, easy shots. But whenever you're doing the deep cuts, the things that actually you put your heart into, I think that those things are so much better, because it shows us a side of you that you're not showing to everybody.
Yeah, it's revealing that vulnerability in a genuine sense.
Absolutely.
You can show vulnerability in a very in a non-vulnerable sense, where you present like you're being vulnerable. Like we have, I don't want to name names or bits, but we have a mutual friend that when they perform a bit about their dating life, it doesn't feel vulnerable. It feels more, woe is me.
Right.
And that's not vulnerable.
No.
That is self-deprecating and seeking pity.
Right, which is not funny.
It's not funny.
Yeah, pity is not funny.
Pity is not funny, but when you do when you do it in vulnerability, where regardless of how you feel about this is an aspect of myself, and you can accept it or reject it, that's where I think the best of that comedy comes from.
And I agree. And something that, again, go watch What Happens When I Die, because it was a fucking phenomenal episode. And not just because I was on it, because it's a fucking good show.
Yeah, thank you.
So when we were talking about my dad dying and he killed himself on my sleeping bag, so part of my joke, which, have you noticed, I've incorporated every time now. I've incorporated that whole bit, but it's like, I make fun of the fact that, like, not only did I lose my dad, but I lost my favorite Christmas present. Yeah. You know, and it's like, so I'm showing vulnerability because, you know, like, I love both things. Yeah. But I'm also like, I wish I still had my sleeping bag. Yeah. And it's like, so I'm not making fun of myself, but I'm making fun of the situation that now I'm dealing with losing both.
Yeah, you're presenting, because I mean you were a kid when it happened,
right?
So you're definitely dealing with like the two, because as children we're still materialistic.
Absolutely.
So you're still dealing with
I never
like
grew out of.
you're dealing with like you lost one of the people who literally brought you into this world.
Yep.
And then one item that made you feel loved.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Which I like, and I can't remember. It was either a gift from my dad, or it was a gift from my dad's mom, my grandma.
Yeah.
And I can't remember which one, but I think that it was from my dad. So it's like, you guys don't see this, but like this is what's going on in my mind.
Yeah.
But it's like, not only did I lose my dad, I lost, you know, like my favorite gift from my dad.
You lost,
you know, like so.
You lost an item that was a connection to your father.
Right.
At the same time, you lost your father.
Because of my dad.
Yeah.
So it's like, and part of the bit is like, you know, like he's not selfish because he did it at the beginning of the school year. So I got an extra week of summer.
Yeah.
You know, but also kind of was selfish because now I'm out of sleeping bag.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And like now I don't have another dad to buy me one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like just the whole idea, and you know, like just being vulnerable, but not being vulnerable in a way that is like
feel bad for me.
Right. And trying to show that you're trying to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I've seen so many people that are like, look at the situation that I think you should laugh at, but you're not, but people don't, because they expect you to laugh at it, or you expected them to laugh at it.
Yes. Yeah. It like if you're presenting, so like we'll talk about my suicide a bit, right? Because I deal with the heavy suicidal ideation.
Right. Absolutely.
Like, the vulnerability of that joke is like I constantly want to kill myself, but I would also feel guilty. So like the thing that's keeping me from suicide is guilt, and I'm presenting you with the guiltless suicide. That's the whole bit, is my vulnerability of like I don't want shame to keep me alive, so I'm figuring out how to die without shame.
Right. Absolutely.
Which is like anybody who's dealt with depression can recognize that. You know,
sure.
like there's a lot of people who are alive just because people told them they're not allowed to die.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. With your bit with your father killing himself on your Scooby-Doo bag, it's a very similar, like we were just saying, you know, you had that connection to your father. So like you lost your father and then one of the tethers to him, which isn't like a feel bad for me. It's a genuine like not only, you know, it would be like if my dad killed himself by choking it, like by suffocating on a Gundam piece from a Gundam he bought me.
Right.
If he was just like,
right.
Like,
yeah, exactly.
I would be like, oh no, like the one item that my father got me to show he loves me is the thing that he used because he didn't feel loved. Is like, is like
exactly
fucked up.
And that's what's so interesting, because like that is where the art form comes in, and I fuck you, Chris Dixon, because I keep talking about, because we talk all the time, he and I, about comedy and stuff. And he does this Jesus bit, and he literally this morning, he's in Seattle, so he's a couple hours behind. So it was like he just flew in, he got home, did whatever.
And I bet his arms are tired, huh?
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of flapping.
A lot of.
So he got there and sent me this text. So I was asleep, and I woke up to, he's like, I can never do this Jesus bit again, because Jim Gaffigan, and which is also a very close friend of mine, who did a Jesus bit and had almost verbatim, and Chris had never seen it, and he just saw it, and he's like, I can never fucking say this again.
Yeah.
And I told him, like, that's why you have to do personal experiences, right?
Yeah.
Because nobody is going to take my, you know, like dead dad and Scooby-Doo fucking sleeping bag and be like, well, you know, fucking Kevin Hart did that joke 4 years ago. Because he didn't, because his dad didn't die of suicide on a fucking Scooby-Doo bag.
Yeah.
You know? So like when you have personal things and you make yourself vulnerable because you're giving your real self. Yeah. That is where, in my opinion, the true art form comes from.
So like I have a Jesus bit, and the entire thing boils down to like, so I don't know if you've heard my I want to be crucified a bit.
I don't think so.
So it's I want to be crucified. I'm not religious. I don't want to live like Jesus. It's just I'm very curious to see if you can masturbate with that hole in your hand.
Okay, that's funny.
That's like the whole premise is like, you know, like what if it hurts and then I scream? It's like, but what if I love it and then I scream in pleasure doing the same motion.
Yeah.
But like that's
Get
a
nailed all the way around.
But like that's a Jesus bit I'm comfortable knowing nobody's ever going to do because they're not going to want to admit that they're curious about masturbating with a hole in their hand.
And again, I think that comes down to that is your personal feeling about a situation where the bit that that Dixon does is more vague. You know, and it's more general, and it's something that we've all thought, but you know, like maybe never verbalized. Yeah. And the fact that somebody else verbalized it shows that we've all thought it. So that is where it comes down to, and I'm not saying that the way that I do comedy is the right way. I'm just saying that it's my way. Right.
There's a you could always go deeper.
Of course.
With it. Yeah. Which is, I feel like that's what you're implying.
Right. And that's where the personal connection comes from. You know, so even if we like what you just said, right? You know, like Jesus being crucified, I'm sure it's been talked about 100 times. I don't know if it's ever been talked about because you want to masturbate with it. You know, you fucking switch hands and gain a stroke. Yeah, you know, like I don't know if it's ever been delved into that deep. But the fact that like you're taking a weird twist on it, where whenever you just do something, you know, where I don't know, I do a bit about, you know, like my car or my truck got hit, you know, and I was like, and it reminded me of my dad. It got hit on the day of my dad's birthday, and which is all true things. My dad's birthday's tomorrow, actually. Oh. So you guys almost, you know, like you kind of remind me of my dad.
It was my gift to you will be killing myself on whatever sleeping bag you have now. So and
then I'm just gonna cuddle you the whole time. Like he wanted this. And then so. Making those connections, because like I'm sure people have talked about their car being run over, being hit, being in a car accident, whatever, but diving deeper and making those personal connections absolutely makes the difference.
When I was talking about David Lynch earlier, he has a book, because David Lynch does meditation for his ideas, and he talks about searching for the bigger fish. So when you get an idea, right, and if you love that idea, don't use that idea, don't feed on that fish. Attach it to your line, throw it back into the water, use it to catch
and find something
bigger.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I like that.
So take that idea, which is a good idea. If you love that idea, use it for bait because you'll get even more. Because if it's a good idea, it'll attract even bigger, better ideas. Yeah, to feed on it.
That's a great concept, and I've never looked at it that way. But it's funny because, you know, like so if you listen to which. I don't think you've been on it yet, but they said I'm funny with Justin and Adam, and they do an episode of linear thinking, and we all have these similar ideas, but making it more connected to us, there, you know, i.e. the bigger fish, or, you know, like whatever, like that is what I constantly tell people is it's okay to run with this idea, but tag it up, you know?
like Chris's vagina bit about like treating it like a manhunt, right? So fucking funny, so funny, and it's so like relatable. Yes, it's 100% relatable
because we all have been there.
Yeah, and like the fact that he does the drawings with the different haircuts and stuff is like that next level of like, oh, like it was already funny, but now that you're doing like FBI profiling on what a vagina may look like, and
they're inaccurate too, which is even more funny.
Yeah, it's you take the naivety of like a child, and then you're attaching it to like this such an adult concept of like an FBI manhunt. Is so fucking funny.
It is, yeah. And that's what's so unique, I guess, you know, about the comedy world and what we do, because you literally can dive into your own like weirdness.
Yeah, doing comedy, you are allowed to access parts of yourself that you have to keep quiet, like at work,
right? Absolutely,
or with your family.
Yeah, well, you know, it's funny that you bring that up because most people say that, and my wife literally invited her vice president to my YouTube or my Facebook page, and like I post nudes on that all the time.
yeah.
And it's so funny because Dixon was like, "Oh, I can't do this because, you know, I'm in the military and I've got, you know, generals and stuff," and I'm like, "Yeah, that must suck."
Yeah, I was talking to when I had Justin on my podcast. He was like, I really had to think about like if people from KISD heard what I was saying, would I have a job?
Right. Yeah.
So like it was really funny interviewing him because he would like. You would see a thought form and then he would share that piece in his head, and then he would be like, but, and then continue on, even though I didn't hear the first half. You'd be like, but what I think is interesting, I was like, okay, like I can follow what you're saying, but you're definitely keeping some of that hidden. We had a conversation off afterwards, so I can delve into it more, but it was like, it's always really interesting to see people have to limit themselves.
See, and in my opinion, and again, like I'm not trying to get political or whatever, but in my opinion, that's so fucking stupid, right? Because like you have the cancel culture, you have, whatever you want to call it, the people who like, fuck that, do what's authentic to you and what's genuine to you, and you're not gonna please everybody.
Yeah, I think there is like a level of like if Justin shared those ideas like at his job, that's different. Like that's
because
like,
you're on the clock and they pay you to act a certain way.
Yeah.
But when you're off the clock, when he was on my podcast, he was talking about, like I feel like I've touched a lot of kids, whatever, and I was like, I'm sure you fucking have, and it's like, that's funny, it's just a goof, whatever, but it's like, you literally could not make that joke on the clock. Like, that's an instant, you're fucking fired, and we are looking to see every child you've ever had a one-on-one counseling session with, and like, I can understand that at school, right? Because if you make that joke to another peer who like they have to look after these kids, fine. You're talking to a comedian. Yeah. Like I had a friend recently tell me that like his girlfriend or ex whatever it was that she had cheated on him, and I made jokes about it the whole time. Yeah. And then I like later I was like, hey buddy, sorry, I was so aggressive, whatever, and then like he was no big deal. And then a couple days later he was like, yeah, it's just it's really bothering me that she would have done this or whatever, and I was like, wow, maybe I'm a dickhead. But I was like, you told some very personal shit to a comedian who's going to make a joke out of everything.
Yeah, I me and my friends were talking about like what we would do if we won the lottery. And I said, "Oh, I would pay off all of my partners. I think I'm good for right now."
Why, it's your birthday, buddy.
Yeah, I know. I said I would pay off all of my partner's debts. Right? I was like, I'd pay off her student loans and her car. Yeah. And then I would leave her.
Okay. But in a good situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because like the joke is like I would do all of these good things to lighten the blow of me like cutting things off. Yeah. I wouldn't really. I don't think I would. And I told her, I was just like, I said this. And she was like, oh, that's really funny.
Well, so I know your partner. Are you just dating? Are you married? Like you use the word partner. And
we were engaged at one point, and I called it off because I don't want to get married.
Okay, which is fine. Like I'm not judging. I'm just I want to know because like every time you say partner, I'm like
we're cowboys, so it's like, partner with a D. That's my partner.
Like I know her. So, but at the end of one of my bits about my dead dad, she was like, I was waiting for you to say this. And I was like, that's funny. Yeah. So like knowing these people and, like, especially when they're significant others to comedians. Yeah. Because like my wife, never funny, right? She was never funny. Yeah. She, like I would say something and it was like, I don't know what you're saying right now. Yeah. And I'm like, well, you've got a shitty sense of humor. But like now she helps me write jokes. Yeah. Right? Because it's a mind frame. You have to get used to, like looking at things. Yeah.
Flexing that muscle.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Like your friend killing himself, not funny. No. My parents killing themselves, not funny. But you can make it funny.
We case in point, I had a friend die in a drunk driving accident maybe 6 years ago. 6 to 8 years ago. I guess it goes to show how good of a friend I am. And I was just like, he died. He died.
He doesn't pick up the phone anymore.
He doesn't.
That's all I know.
But like he was hit by a drunk driver and his car like flipped multiple times. Okay. And crashed into a donation bin. And we were like, man, even like on his way to heaven, he tried to make a donation to show how good of like how much he cared about people. Yeah. And that was a joke somebody cracked 6 hours after he died.
Right. Yeah.
He was like, he died and like tried to donate on his way out. What a gentle soul. Yep. He was so sweet. that even like he was like, I'm not gonna need these anymore, so I'll leave them for the next person.
Yeah, no, but like you have to, right? Because like when our good friend Connor King died, we instantly started making jokes.
Oh yeah,
and it was like Connor was a big guy, like there's all these things that we could make fun of, and like we're not making fun of them. These are things that he would fucking laugh.
Yeah, I went to the viewing with some people, and I don't remember who said it. But we were talking about the size of his coffin, and somebody was like, "Well, he needs the wiggle room."
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, and you have to be that way. Hey, cheers to your birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you, bud. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah, of course. And like being able to realize that like jokes are just that. They're just jokes.
Yeah.
And okay, that this is something that we have not talked about. So Dave Chappelle, right? Yeah, everybody's like, Dave Chappelle hates the LGBTQ, whatever. And it's like, I don't think that, like, literally his last, which I don't remember the name of it, but his last Netflix special where he was like, you guys aren't paying attention. I don't like white people.
Yeah.
Like, they're the enemy. And it's like, that doesn't hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm white,
Yeah, it's one of those things so, like, I'm sympathetic to people who are offended by jokes. I understand. I understand that people are affected by jokes. I do.
I think that's because you're too sweet, though.
I maybe.
Like honestly, I think you're too caring.
That might be it. But it's also like, when I was growing up, I was like the subject of a lot of bullying,
and that makes for sure.
And so like I'm sympathetic to people who are punched down with jokes. I think punching down humor.
But that's different, right? Yeah. Punching down humor is not a joke.
Yeah.
That is literally being a dickhead and trying to cover it up and be like, but I'm just joking.
I'm just joking.
Yeah.
But like, what was it? I heard a great joke that was like, I hate trans men. Like, how dare you have a better beard and cuter feet than me? Like, that's a funny joke.
That is a funny joke. Yeah.
And it is, it is directed at trans men. But it isn't bullying.
Right.
Trans people.
For sure, yeah. Like, and you definitely, jokes have to be funny.
Yeah.
Right? They can't just be mean, because that it's not a joke anymore.
Yeah.
But when you're doing something, especially, talking about Chappelle, when you're doing something in a way, and when The Closer is what it was called, and Chappelle's Closer, he was like, I just want you to know that one of my best friends in the world was trans, and when she died, nobody cared, right? But I made sure I started a whatever the account, to put money in it for her kids, whatever, and made sure that they're going to go to college, they're going to do all of this stuff. But the trans community fucking trashed her the whole time, and she was a comedian, and so like, you're not trashing your people, you're trashing my people.
Yeah.
Right? And that's where I'm like, yeah, Dave Chappelle talks all his shit because he can. He's Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Right? And it's funny. He does it in a way that's funny. It's not demeaning or what,
Yeah.
But so he was like, you literally shit on this person, but then yell at me for shitting on them. Or what the fuck did you do when they killed themselves? And I was the only one taking care of their family.
Yeah. I agree and understand a lot of that. I think so. When it comes specifically to like queerness, which
that's such a funny word.
It is. I love saying it. Sorry, let me. when it comes to faggotry, when it comes to that kind of stuff, as like somebody who exists in that space, it's really hard to, for lack of a better phrase, pick a side. Because like as like a trans individual, I understand a lot of the pain that these trans people felt from some of his humor.
For sure.
It's understandable. And then as a comedian, it's very hard to excuse some of the behavior that Chappelle was talking about. You know, like, who do you side with? Do you side with this historically marginalized and victim-laden community?
For sure.
Or do I side with the people who, like, have a history of, like I understand, like, the art form, but there's also just, like, a dark cloud over a comedy because of, like, you know, we have stuff like Chris D'Elia that came out, or like Louis C.K., and you have like a lot of that. It's really hard because it's like I understand where the comedians are coming from
for sure.
with all of their stuff, and like I understand how trans people feel, because like there's some trans jokes that I've heard that I'm like, ooh, like that stings a little bit. I don't think it's intending to, but it does. So I don't know. It's weird. I don't think there's a solution.
well, of course,
yeah.
Not, you know, but like it's very interesting, in my opinion, that you can see it from both sides, and I think that knowing comedy and knowing yourself, you know, of course, but you have to use logic also, right?
Yeah.
So
yes.
So you have to say, does it like, and it, you can't say, well, you know, like, what, we'll just, you said high school bullying earlier.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, the bully's only bullying the retarded kids. So, you know, like, he's really not a bully. He just doesn't like this one group of people. That doesn't make it better. No. Right?
In some instances, it could even make it worse.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And so whenever, like, with Chappelle, he only was targeting this group of people. And you have to start to use logic, though. Yeah. And, like, is he actually targeting these people? Is he saying, we need to dislike these people? We need to go out and we need to hurt these people? We need to, you know, he wasn't saying any of that. Yeah. He was literally saying, like, I don't understand it. And, again, when he had a very close friend who was a trans person, you know, that went from a man to a female, she took her own life, and he was like, I was the only person there for her. Yeah. Like, so you have to, again, use logic and be like, he is hurting.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's hard to, so like, I'm going to liken it to Star Trek.
I don't know Star Trek, but I'll follow it the best I can.
So Spock was logic.
Okay.
Right, was the highly logical kind of character.
Okay.
And then Kirk was the emotional.
Okay.
I feel this in my gut.
Yep.
This is what we need to do. Mm-hmm. But problems were only solved, really, when both of them worked together.
Absolutely, for sure.
You needed both, you know, you need to feel something first and then think your way through it, but still rely, like, you need to rely on both.
Absolutely.
To get through almost any situation. Yep. So when it comes to, like, what Chappelle was saying, I agree with his attitude of, like, where were you? Because, you know, as somebody who exists in that queer space, and as somebody who's like, you know, I'm first generation American. My mother's an immigrant. Yeah.
Really? That's
yeah.
Awesome.
My mom's from Mexico.
Oh, okay, nice.
So like I have that, and I have the queer identity stuff. That it is. Oh God, I forgot what I was gonna say. Dead air is always great for podcasts.
It's all right.
Yeah. So when it comes to those, as somebody who exists in that space, like I do feel for Chappelle. But it's also one of those things where, like, it is hard to stomach a lot of that stuff, regardless if he was meaning it to be playful or if he was being hateful. I'm not going to say he was trying to do either way.
Right, yeah, you don't know.
I don't know. Yeah,
him.
Yeah, I don't know people's hearts.
Right.
Nobody knows anybody else's heart.
Yep, for sure.
But it is one of those things where, like, if you're going to make fun of somebody, maybe use logic and think, like, maybe don't go for the people who have, like, a higher rate of suicide compared to cishet people. And I remembered I was going to say, so you see a lot of the championing from cishet white liberals for a lot of these individual groups, a lot of these smaller kind of disenfranchised groups. And like I was saying earlier, like, cishet white liberals really need to, like, tone it down. Like, right. I get it. Just you love Harry Potter. You think you're part of Dumbledore's army, like, defending the weaker wizards from the big bad conservative Voldemort and their terrible cishet normative kind of anti-LGBT ideology. But at the same time, like, stay in your lane.
Right, for sure.
You know?
At least let us voice if we are upset first.
Yeah, like, you know, don't, and like, if we are upset, don't throw yourselves in the front lines to make yourself feel better.
Right, absolutely, yeah. And like, honestly, I think a lot of like cancel culture and stuff, that is their biggest thing, is that like they are literally fighting a fight that nobody else wants to fight because it's not worth fighting for.
Yeah, like I have a lot of trans friends. And like, for you cisheads out there who are watching and listening, the best thing to do when you meet a trans person is to treat them like a cishet person. Don't draw attention to it. Don't be like, oh, you know, don't ask them questions about it. Just if they give you their pronouns, just go, okay.
Yeah.
And like, move on. The same reason, like, you know, if somebody has like like if somebody's in a wheelchair, right? You're not going to be like, you know, like, do you have like preferred wheelchair pronouns? Like,
right,
do you,
yeah.
you know, like, hey, like, they're in a wheelchair. Don't talk to them like that.
Exactly.
Like,
don't you talk down to them.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things where, like, or somebody who has, like, an assistant dog, right? Somebody who has, like, that you're supposed to, like, act like the dog isn't there. And I feel like most people do. If they they see a service dog, they don't really draw attention to the dog. When it comes to, and, you know, this is for me, I'm sure other trans people, like, we're not fucking all the same.
Right, well.
Most of us aren't the same. So, like, you know, I would encourage everybody to maybe open those dialogues when the time is right.
Yeah, and I don't want to step on your toes here.
No, it's all right. As a trans person, I'm used to it.
I mean,
so, no, say as a cishet white person, say what you need to say.
This is what I want to say. So, but like, and you know, and we talked about this again on What Happens When I Die. Go fucking check it out,
please.
But you know that I do my very best, you know, and we talked about how, like, I don't get it, but that doesn't mean that I don't want to be respectful. Yeah. You know, and I do my best to be respectful. And I think that just comes down to being human. You know, everybody wants to be, you know, liberal, conservative, you know, whatever, but like, just be a good human. You probably, you know, like, people, when I was growing up and in school and stuff, and they're like, hey, this weekend's Father's Day, we're going to make gifts for your dad, you know? And nobody, you know, asked me how I felt about that, you know? But it's like, so I just had to fucking, like, I'm used to it. You know what I mean? And so that's how I feel everybody else is. That it's just like, hey, this is what's expected. I'm going to say he, and if you don't like it, then you know what? That's a you problem. But as I've gotten older, I've realized that, like, not everybody's as, and I don't mean this in a mean way, but like, not everybody's as tough as I am.
Yeah,
right?
Everybody has a different threshold of accepting even unintentional transgression.
Right, exactly. And that's something that I've tried to be cognizant about, you know, that, like, I'm not trying to be mean. Yeah. You know, and I like Brittany, right? Yeah. You know Brittany from
from Cookies.
And she, I don't. This is actually something that, like, I don't know how to ask her, but I think that she is a man during the day and a female at night. I don't know, but I think that's the case. But, like, again, knowing when and where to ask certain questions, and, you know, like, trying not to bring attention to things. So that's why I haven't, because you know, I'm a realistic person, and I can say this might be uncomfortable. Yeah. Right. And my goal on stage is to make people uncomfortable. Yeah. My goal as a human being is to make everyone comfortable, and to, while yes, I'm still fighting for my own personal, you know, what I think is right. I'm still fighting for everyone else too, what they think is right. You know, and just trying to make the world a better place than what it was when I got here. Yeah,
that's a good attitude to have. Yeah, I think that's probably the best attitude that anybody here can take, is, you know, kind of like what's the rule? Like, when you visit a national park, leave it cleaner than when you arrive.
Exactly. Yeah. If there's a piece of trash, you pick it up. Yeah. You know, so if you see somebody being hurtful, just say, hey, maybe don't use the N-word so much. Yeah. You know, like,
Gary.
Right, you piece of shit. But, you know, and, like, it's very easy to just be a human. Yeah. And I think that's the biggest lesson. It's just try your best. You don't always have to understand, and you don't have to identify with.
It's not that hard to just accept, that somebody's different. You and I will never understand the struggle of, like, being a black person.
Well, I mean, I did blackface once.
I did blackface one, and people were, like, so rude to me. Like, I couldn't imagine.
They were like, hey, pull your pockets out of your pants. Let us see what you got.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, for real, like, we'll never understand. Mm-hmm. And we can try and see it from that point of view, but we'll never be able to, like, we wear different size shoes. I can put your shoes on all day long, but I don't know what it feels like to actually be your size in your shoes.
Yeah.
Right? So all you can do is try your best.
Yeah, all you can do is try your best, see where you guys, like, touch tips is the phrase I was going to use. See where you guys touch tips, and, like, be accepting of that. I have friends who are, like, hardcore conservative. And they don't understand the non-binary thing either, and they're trying very hard, and I recognize that in them. And I know, like, a lot of people, their upbringings really affect the way they see the world around them.
Of course, yeah. We're like I said, I'm from Indiana. Mm-hmm. And like I hate when people ask me what political side I fall on. Because, like, it's such a dividing thing in our country right now.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm from Indiana, I'm from a small town, and, like, I fall a certain way, you know, but I definitely try and be more centralized. And, like, I lived in LA, and, so I try and see things from all points of view. That doesn't mean that I don't have, certain core values. And
one is, like, you think white people are better, and, like, that's fine. That's an understandable
coming
from a
and I feel like
town.
Through history we have proof. No, I'm just joking. Fuck, we're comedians.
Yeah.
But no, like, like, I think that women should have the right to abortion.
Yeah.
Right? And so, like, but that's where you're being in the middle. You know, like I should not be able to tell you what you can do with your body.
Yeah.
And if you want to cut your dick off, like, that's not my choice.
Yeah, dude.
Right?
If I want to get rid of this sick baby bird, that's mine.
Right, exactly.
That's my choice.
Yeah, but, like, don't you fucking try and tell me what I have to do with mine either.
Yeah.
But I think that's being able to be a person and being like, you're your own person and I'm my fucking own person, and we can separate and not have to be.
Yeah, and I think we need to also be, and I really hate the whole, like, fuck your feelings attitude. I think that's very unhealthy, because I think we grow as individuals by listening to other people's feelings.
That's the problem. Everybody's ready to talk and nobody wants to listen.
Yeah, everybody needs to. So, like, me and my partner have been together for 7 years. And the only reason we've lasted 7 years is because we were able to take time out of our day and listen to the other person and understand where they're coming from. There are times where I completely disagree with my partner and how they are feeling. But I will say, I recognize how you're feeling, but here is why I disagree. I'm not invalidating what you are feeling. I am just saying that, like, I understand you feel that way, but from my point of view, this is how I feel.
Yes.
Whose feelings trump the others? They don't. But you need to listen to both. And then, like my father has this rule about conversation, which is you always need to remember that there's a third party in every conversation. There is what I'm saying, there's what you are hearing, and then there's this weird filter in the middle that will change some of it.
Yeah.
I'll say something, but you may interpret it different just because you have a different worldview.
Yeah.
And that happens. And if I say something and you don't understand it, or it hurts your feelings, and you go, hey, I don't understand, it feels like you're saying this.
Right.
It gives people the option to go, I understand that. That is not what I meant. This is what I meant.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give everybody one benefit of a doubt when it comes to conversation. Yeah. And ask them about it just to clarify.
Right, for sure. Again, use logic and being human and try, like, make that connection. And we're probably like fucking 2.5 hours.
Yeah, you think so?
We're probably pretty close. We're probably roughly 2 hours if I were to guess. We're about an hour 40.
An hour 40? All right, let's hit.
Which is fucking phenomenal. And I'm not trying to cut you off.
Yeah.
But so just use that, and just try and be a good person.
Yeah. It's not that hard. I mean, it's genuinely, like, I constantly joke about hating like cishet white people, but like I don't. My partner is a cishet white woman,
right?
Yeah.
Like I'd bang her.
Yeah. Okay, if you want to. Like some of my, I don't care. Like get her consent. That's all that matters is get her consent before you.
She's gotta sleep sometime.
Do it. Yeah. But like some of my best friends are cishet people. Some of my best friends are white people, and like they have a different worldview than I do.
Right.
And just because their worldview is different doesn't necessarily mean it's wrong. It's just different.
It's just different. Yeah.
It's just different.
And like, and we're all different, but we're all trying to live in the same world and figure it out.
Yeah, we're all trying to survive. We're all trying to fall in love. We're all trying to make sure our feelings aren't hurt.
Yeah, exactly. And we're all just so selfish that sometimes we forget about, the other person.
Yeah, it's very easy to forget that you are not the main character.
Exactly, yes. Because you are, in your mind, you're the only character. Yeah. Everybody else is just background.
Yeah, everybody else is just background. But, like, I don't know if you've read any of that Buddhism book that
I've started. Yeah, absolutely.
There's the story from a Buddhist monk who talks about that, like, we will never do anything world-changing. We will never do anything that shifts the tide of humanity. But we can do small things, like shoveling our neighbor's yard when it snows, or buying a stranger lunch.
Yep.
And through that, you change somebody else's world.
Right, exactly. It may not be the world, but it is their world.
Their world, because we are inherently selfish beings who focus kind of on ourselves.
Yep.
When you do something small like that, you have changed the world for someone else.
Exactly, yeah.
Just through that small act of kindness.
Yeah.
And that's something that needs to be carried. And like even Jesus, even though I'm not Christian, I still love that Jesus is like, be kind even to your enemies.
Right, absolutely. Yep.
Because that's really, we were saying earlier, we can't change people's hearts, but we can do actions and use words that will hopefully through time allow somebody to change.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that that's a great message. And I kind of want to stop on that point there, that, like, even if you don't understand, which we keep saying, like, we're on different places. I don't quite understand, but that doesn't mean that I have to be disrespectful, and I will do my best to make you comfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I'm going to try and make you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But that's just being a friend.
That's being a friend.
Yeah.
Being a friend is just, being a friend is seeing how far you can terrorize someone else before they're like, they no longer want to talk to you.
Exactly, yeah. And once you find that line, just kind of tiptoe it.
Yeah, tiptoe it, yeah.
Exactly. But, man, I really appreciate you being on here. And so we have the Icebox, which is just random questions from random people. So we're gonna read one, and we're going to answer it, and that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Okay? So let's see. So this one is, can you lick your elbow?
I cannot.
Have you tried?
I have. So I have a cleft tongue.
What does that mean?
So my tongue, instead of going down to a tip, rounds up into the center and then down and rounds up again.
So I just feel like your partner is very lucky.
Yeah. I am able to get both.
It cradles the clit.
It cradles the clit, and then I'm able to get both sides of the labia majora on the way down.
Yes.
But look at.
Okay, that's weird.
Yeah, I see it dips. Into the middle.
Yeah, did you one time bite it off on accident?
I don't know, but I tell people I have a butt tongue.
Okay.
Yeah, because if
you're into eating ass.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Looks like a little butt.
Yeah. But see, that's smart, because then you never actually get the shit. You just lick the areola of the butthole.
Yeah. It's nice. I'm thinking actually about getting my tongue split.
Oh, don't do that.
I think it would look.
I'll be judgy on that.
Yeah, no, that's fine. You can judge all you want. Yeah, I'm thinking about doing it.
Okay.
But my tongue is also very short, so I don't know if I could.
Right. Well, so then you'll be a lizard day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm going to get the horns implanted, and I'm going to spend all my day in the sun.
Gonna get all the tattoos of like what is it? There's somebody I think who's like actually dedicated to like being a lizard. Or something.
Yeah.
And like it's just like scales all over their whole body. If
Yeah.
you don't go full fucking force and become the lizard, I'm gonna be so mad.
Yeah, I don't need to do that. I have eczema and very dry skin, so if I just stop lotioning after I shower,
You're already
like,
scaly.
yeah, dude, I'm already gonna be scaly, dude.
That's perfect. Well, thank you so much for being here, Janey V.
Yeah.
And like I had so much like this. We talked for 2 hours.
Yeah. No, this is great. I
don't know why we keep being each other's first longest.
I don't know, but it's exciting.
Maybe I'm gay.
Yeah. Hey.
I hear it's going around.
Yeah, it is. It's contagious, dude. It's super contagious ever since Obama put those chemicals in the water.
Oh, fucking Obama.
Yeah.
It's probably Michelle's idea.
100%.
Yeah, she fucked up the school lunches. She probably fucked up our hormones.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
What a bitch.
All the estrogen in the pizza.
Way to go, Michelle. You fucked up America.
Yeah.
But no, really, honestly, thank you for being here and happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm so excited. This is going to be a great episode.
Yeah, I'm excited hopefully this gets more than Gary's. I'm going to pump the fucking hell out of this one.
Gary's number one right now.
Yeah, no,
Spotify.
I just want to, Gary can't be number one.
Fucking Gary Spragg.
Yeah.
No, that's not a shout out. That's a shout down.
Yeah, that's a shout down. I'm going to fuck you, Gary.
I want to see that. Put that on your fucking OnlyFans.
I will, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Gary getting, well, it wouldn't be pegged. It's just ass fucked.
It's just butt fucked.
Okay. Well, that's
or maybe I'll power bottom to make it even worse for him. Like he's doing the fucking, but I'm in charge.
Yeah, but then you're still gonna get his dick on your stomach, and he can maybe fuck your belly button.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that. We'll figure.
No, don't let him have that satisfaction. Just fuck him doggy style.
All right. Yeah. I'm gonna fuck him. No, I'm gonna fuck him missionary. He's gonna be on his back. He's gonna look me in the eyes.
Oh, and he's fucking his own belly button.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm into it.
Our belly buttons.
I'm
gonna lay on him. I'm gonna lay on him so his belly right in between the two of us.
Yeah. So it's okay. Well, go check out this fucking OnlyFans because it's about to be wild.
Yeah. At Veiny Janey. Go check it out.
Well, thank you so much, and I can't wait to post this. And we're gonna talk after this.
Hell yeah.
All right. Thanks, buddy. See you guys
later.